Hi guys, welcome or welcome back to the channel that you either love or hate, YouTube Psych Myths. Today's video is probably what you're expecting. I had planned something else out, but yeah, things change. I'm gonna give just a brief overview of everything that happened the last few days, with Dissociated, of course. So I'm gonna read out some of the posts and discuss some of it and give some opinions, and yeah. So things changed from the beginning when I was making this video towards the end of the video because Dissociated released a second community post that changed everything. So I'm going to cover both. Thank you to all my new subscribers. Thank you guys for getting me to 700. I can't believe it. It's so weird. But yeah. Thank you. That's all I want to say. It really does mean a lot to me. It really does. And everybody in the comments, every time I see you, I know your names. You know, I feel like I've gotten to know you guys, and I really love that this has kind of grown in the way that it has, and I'm very thankful. So thank you guys, and I hope you enjoy the video. As always, please, no bullying or hate sent to anybody mentioned in this video. Thank you, and let's get into it. Hello everyone, it's been a while. We wanted to check in and give you an update on our health and upcoming October plans. We still have a long way to go before our mental health is stable, and as of right now, we aren't functional enough to be able to return to making YouTube content. We miss each of you so much, and all of us are working hard to reach a safe mental space. Even though we aren't able to return to making content yet, we wanted to do something creative with you all to bring some life, joy, and love back into our community. We'd like to introduce Dissociadid Draws. Some of you may already be familiar with Inktober, an annual challenge where a list of daily art prompts is released for the month of October. As there's been some confusion with the official Inktober and copywriting, which has resulted in many people no longer partaking in the challenge, we've drawn inspiration from the idea of using prompts to encourage an atmosphere of creativity and fellowship, especially as many of us are still in lockdown, quarantine, or isolating. Unlike Inktober, Dissociated Draws is not month-specific or holiday-centric, and it is an opportunity for us all to reconnect through storytelling and art. We'd love to see the way you express yourselves using the prompts and connect with others sharing their experiences, whether simply for the joy of creating or as a healthy outlet to process your struggles and emotions. We will, of course, be joining in with you as much as we can. How it works. Dissociated Draws will take place on the Dissociated Patreon, starting on October 1st. This means that if you have friends who are still doing Inktober, you can do this event alongside them. At the end of the month, you can vote on your favorite art. The winner will be featured in a video, the designs turned into merch, and we will donate all the profits from the sales to a charity chosen by you. Daily prompts will be suggested by our $5 and above tier patrons, and these prompt ideas will then be voted on by all patron members from our $1 tier and above, which means you get to choose what all of us do together. We will vote on and release 7 days of prompts per week. Higher tiers will also have access to high-quality downloads, including copies of all our final Dissociated Draws pieces and wallpapers at the end of the month, and exclusive video footage of how we create our art. The prompts can be any theme, excluding religious, holiday, abuse, injury, or death-specific themes. Your creations themselves can include these subjects, if they fit the theme, but they must be trigger-warned at the very top of your post. Please see the rules for more details on this. You don't have to do every prompt or draw every day. You also don't have to use traditional drawing media. You can write stories, use photography, sketch, paint, sew, use makeup, or draw digitally, for example. The idea is to draw out your creativity through the prompt, but that doesn't mean you need to use a pencil to do it. You don't need to be good at art or even share it if you don't want to. There is no pressure or expectation to do anything other than what makes you feel safe and comfortable. You can also do prompts even if you missed their release. You can post what you create to the community on our Patreon. Here, you can also interact with others to support and discuss their take on what they create. You must adhere to the rules when posting, or your post may be deleted. Please see the end of this post for more details. How Dissociated Draws works with Patreon tiers. Little Love, $1 patron tier. Vote on Dissociadid Draws prompts for the community to create together. Access the Dissociated Patreon community and feed. See all the art and stories being made by all other participants. And share your own. This tier and above can also view the art pieces we personally make for Dissociated Draws. Integrated Involvement, $5 patron tier. Suggest your own Dissociated Draws prompts to be voted on. Choose and guide what the community will draw together. Plus, access to perks in all previous tiers. Nadia's Laughter Packet, $15 Patreon tier. Access high-quality downloads, including copies of our final Dissociated Draws artwork, as well as wallpapers at the end of the month, plus access to perks in all previous tiers. Sweeter Than Sally, $30 patron tier. Access to exclusive videos of us drawing Dissociated Draws artwork. If you liked our Alters drawing video, you'll love this tier. Plus, access to perks in all previous tiers. Higher tiers will have access to all the Dissociated Draws specific perks. All other rewards will remain on hiatus until we are functioning well enough to fulfill them, which will be when we are healthy enough to return to YouTube and create content. Stirring drama, hateful or aggressive comments and posts will be removed, and triggering content will be removed if it's not properly trigger warned. This is intended to be a positive, light-hearted, community-led event, bringing everyone together in solidarity to distract us in all these difficult times. Please help Dissociated Draws stay true to its mission of giving something positive back to the dissociated community. And the final chosen charity. At the current stage of our healing journey, we are unable to be as active as we'd like to be online. This means we may be unable to oversee and moderate all posts in a timely fashion. Please use your own discretion when viewing posts on the Patreon community page. And make sure to check trigger warnings to keep yourself safe. Also, we would be very grateful if you could report any posts that don't follow the rules to help us moderate this event. We hope you will enjoy this idea and that it will be a fulfilling and healing experience for you. The suggestions for integrated involvement to your patrons and above starts now on Patreon at Dissociated. See you next month for the first prompts. As always, stay safe. All our love, Dissociated. So this is an event that's supposed to be for charity, but you have to pay in order to be able to contribute to the charity. But what you're paying is really, you're paying Dissociated. If this isn't just, hey, anybody can give back and all of it's going to charity. No, in order to even be involved, you have to be paying her. And in order to have access to certain things, you have to be at certain levels of the Patreon. If it were really for charity, she would donate all the proceeds to charity. Everything that she's getting for her Patreon should go to charity, if that's what it's about. You don't pay for a charity in order to pay some more. I also don't understand how this is really a gift to her subscribers. It's what they're doing. It's artwork they're choosing to participate in or not. And again, they can only do it really with her if they're a part of the Patreon. So, like, it's just an incentive and nothing else. Like, anybody could draw anything for free and donate the proceeds. It doesn't have to be on Patreon. Dissociated wrote, "Hello, we aren't returning to making content yet, and as we mentioned in the post, we still aren't well enough to be particularly active online. As lots of people aren't doing Inktober this year, an event that used to bring everyone together and we've done publicly before, we wanted to suggest a new event that can take place in a safe environment that could bring something positive in its place whilst we are still unable to return to YouTube. All the best." User says, "At Dissociated, it just makes me sad we can't participate simply because we can't afford to. It makes sense that the Patreon is a safe place. Thanks for explaining that. I just think this would be really helpful for us and others that can't be in a space due to the financial difficulties. Hope the event goes well." This user says, "I hope this isn't viewed as stirring drama or hateful because it's not meant to be in the slightest. This is meant to be good faith criticism from a, admittedly, very disappointed former fan. You need to address everything. The Team Pinata situation, the racism, the allegations from former friends of yours, the spreading of misinformation, all of it. We used to love you. Your content helped us through so much, but there is too much that you have yet to speak on. The drama started, and you disappeared. Your mental health is incredibly important, obviously, and we understand needing a break. But you need to address these issues. You owe everyone the truth, especially the people who continue to support you on Patreon. Dissociadid replies, Ronan, thank you for bringing up these issues in a respectful way. We've never intentionally or knowingly spread any misinformation. One of the reasons we include our sources in our videos is to prevent this. We would like to stress that while our channel exists for educational purposes only, and we make every effort to provide you with the most accurate and up-to-date information, we are not qualified professionals. As for the allegations of racism, we address this on our Instagram in the following posts. Additionally, we have added important information to note about the use of racial terms to describe alters in the descriptions of our Meet the Altered videos. Going forward, we will continue to refrain from using racial and ethnic descriptive terms to describe any alter's appearance within the inner world, and continue to learn from the POC and SOC who share their perspectives and experiences. We strongly encourage others to do the same. We believe in the power of education to change lives and will strive to do our part in bringing forth a more just and inclusive world to the best of our ability. Regarding Team Pinata, we are no longer in a relationship with them and haven't been for some time. Finally, we've decided not to respond to the hurtful claims other creators made about us. We can tell you that our mental health took a hard hit as a result of all the half-truths and gossip. Still, we don't feel it's appropriate to discuss personal opinions and details of private events on a public platform, even in response to what seemed like a coordinated attack on our reputation. We understand this won't be enough for some people, but we hope to regain some of that lost trust through hard work by making our content the best it can be. Going forward, Dissociated will be focusing on educational content only. We believe this is the best decision for our channel and to protect our personal safety and well-being. Thank you for understanding. Yeah, so Dissociated is just not going to talk about Team Pinata at all. They said they're not in a relationship, but they won't answer to what all the other creators, and the half-truths, the other DID YouTubers said. She doesn't want to discuss that because, well, the thing is, all of that includes a lot of stuff about Team Pinata and how she was supporting them. So she's not going to even address the fact that she was, rooting for them behind the scenes and making excuses for them. I understand if you still have feelings for that person, of course, you're going to be engaged. You were engaged. You were going to get married. Your whole life is going to change, I totally understand that. But, I mean, you should at least be able to say, hey, if you're going to address it, you should be able to say, in that moment, I was still struggling with it, and give a reason as to why you were making excuses for child, the only reason she's not addressing anybody, any of the DID YouTubers, is because it all talks about how she was supporting, she was supporting Team Pinata behind the scenes. She took the spot from Multiplicity and Me from the Anthony Padilla show. She doesn't want to discuss any of those things, and so she's censoring absolutely everything. Only things on Patreon now, where she can control it. Only YouTube, where she can control it. And then she wants to say, oh, I don't want to talk about my personal life anymore. It's not going to be personal. But then why are you here telling us all about your flashbacks and this and that? Then stop with that too. Stop with trying to bait the audience for sympathy just so that you can milk every last dollar out of them. Honestly, that's what your channel is. It's about your personal life, you showing your very personal, disorder. Switching, going through something, having a flashback. To me, it just, I just don't understand how she can say she wants to keep her personal life private, but then her channel is not that at all. This person says, turning other people's art into merch doesn't quite seem like a good idea, and putting this behind a paywall isn't a good way to bring your community together at all. If you wanted to keep the prompt ideas to Patreon, fine, but not even letting your fans, who are struggling to make ends meet themselves, participate, or even get to see your art is super heartbreaking. Like, $30 to watch you draw for something you want to bring your community together doesn't seem like it's for that reason. Why? Dissociated responds, our lowest tier is $1. You can see our art and participate in the event on that tier, as well as vote. We wanted to keep it as accessible as possible. We only use Patreon and YouTube as our social platforms, and by using Patreon, we can moderate the event and keep it safe for everyone. It's also a thank you to those who have supported us and been there during our break. We were also talking with someone else on here about maybe putting some of what we make on YouTube Community tab too. I'm not sure we will be able to do many prompts, but what we do manage to make, we would love to share. As for the charity merch, we'd be sure to have the express permission of the artist to use it for that purpose, and all the profits will be going to the charity that our patrons choose. One user says, I'm very confused. Why is this a Patreon-only event? From what I've heard, there haven't been any patron tier rewards issued to your donors in months, despite having so many active ones. Why monetize a drawing challenge that could easily take place on social media for free? Are these donation tiers going to charity too? Dissociated responds, we only use Patreon on YouTube, and by using Patreon, we are able to hold the event in a safe environment where posts and comments can be moderated. This means we can help make sure nothing triggering or distasteful is shared, which could trigger others, which we wouldn't be able to do on other platforms. Other Patreon tiers are still on hold, as they have been since we started our break. And this is also a way to thank and creatively interact with the patrons who have been supporting us during that time. This person's asking, are these donation tiers going to charity too? And that's when Dissociated says, all the patron tiers are still on hold as they have been since we started our break. So the money that she's getting from people signing up is still going to her. The only thing going to charity is whatever comes out of this Dissociated Draws thing. But either way, it's her bottom line that it affects. Facts and updates, Dissociated Draws. She's like, oh, I'm going to update you because after talking to you, like, we've made some changes, basically. Yeah, of course people have been joining the Patreon for the sake of taking the challenge. That was the goal. That's why you did it, to make money. Like, this is an incentive. Otherwise, you just release it on its own. Oh, she's so transparent. It's like, she's so smart in some ways, and then just, I don't know where her head is at sometimes.